Thank you.
And roll, whichever. We want to get started. We want to appreciate you all for being out here today. This little event's grown from less than 80 last year to over 200 strong. Woo! It's a collaborative effort. It's everyone here from the Brain Injury Association of Washington, our friends at BrainWorks, Headstrong. We work together, we make it happen, and it's exciting, and I'm thrilled to be here. I am Deborah Crawley. I'm Executive Director for the Brain Injury Association of Washington. I want to thank you all. This is, if you build it, they will come. And you guys have come out to show your support for all the work that all of us do on a daily basis. It's important work, it's ongoing, and it's fun. You guys, we have so much fun because this is a community that cares and a community that comes together to support one another. This is inclusive, this is everyone. We're going to change things, we've changed things already, and we're just moving forward to let folks know this is one of the #1 causes of death and disability in this state for our young people. We're going to make things happen for survivors, family members, caregivers. Working together, so much can be accomplished, and we're seeing that today. I want to quickly thank a couple people, in particular my staff. Julie Dawning went out of her comfort zone. Our little pediatric resource manager had little deer headlights when I said, you're going to take this over and make it happen. It's a phenomenon. I don't even know where Julie's at right now. She's here. Oh, see? She's covert. So she did a great job. Other staff here, Jessica Giordano, Brittany's here, Neidhart Gruel, Pauline, who handled registration like a charm. It's a lot of work, but they do it with a smile on their face, and I'm thrilled and really lucky to have that type of staff at the office every day. It's a fun place to work, and we welcome you anytime. I want to thank our sponsors. Rockin' Noggin is our main sponsor. And just to let you know, they came on board months ago when we had like 3 people registered. They're like, we'll do that. And I'm like, I like you guys. I now want to introduce one of my colleagues here. Aaron Rance has taken on the leadership of the BrainWorks Clubhouse. Really made it. I love going up there. I visit now and then. It's always like a highlight, like I call and, can I come visit? Because you guys are fun, and I love the members, I love being there, and it really is because of Aaron's leadership that that whole environment exists, and that program is taking off in leaps and bounds. And Aaron, here you go. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Deborah. We're all here today because we know somebody with a brain injury. Some people here have brain injuries. It's a large community of people that's all coming together. And so you might have come here to support, the Brain Injury Association of Washington or Headstrong or Seattle BrainWorks, but really by being here, you're supporting all 3, and you're supporting this growing community of people who are coming together to support people with brain injury and the people who care about them. So I just really thank you for being here, and I also want to thank our members who did a tremendous amount of work to get ready for this event, making signs and putting banners together and making the signs that you see going around the course, and just doing all the things, bringing their people here, doing all the things that it takes to get this community rolling. And I see a bigger group than last year. I just love to see how many faces out there of people who are meeting each other and getting together to meet other people who support people with brain injury. And thank you for being here.
I'll keep it short. My name's Desiree Douglas. I'm with Headstrong. We founded Headstrong 6 years ago after my son had a severe traumatic brain injury. And we realized we weren't going to make it if we didn't find out who else was out there who was living with this. And so for me personally, this is just beautiful because I knew we couldn't be the only ones. And I figured we got to crawl out from underneath the bed and find each other and get out in the sunshine again and learn how to rebuild a life after something that devastating happens. So it's with just great pleasure to see how many we are here. And I know it will only get bigger because, as we all know, they call it the silent epidemic, and Aaron's numbers were right. I want to give some special thanks here today. Where is Will? Will? Will organized 26 volunteers from Seattle Works and Boeing to come out and help us all.
He's on the route.
And he's on the route, so, okay, he's out working. He also chased ducks away, so we want to give him special props for that. I also want to thank Acme Bowling. They donated tickets for prizes. You know, people like that in our community who have seen our families come out, they know what we're working with, just generous to the bottom, generous to the core. So I had a thought about today. I went, this is a big day. You know, we started last year, we're doing it again today, but it's really not just about today. It's about putting a marker in your life. It says, I can be outside, I can be out at my community, I can get out and have exercise, I can meet new people, because that's what it takes to build a great life. And so we thought it'd be cool if you could just turn to the person to your left and introduce yourself and tell them why you came today. And then Julie will tell us about the route.
Attention up here, please.
Up front, we got the important information now with Julie.
I'm going to explain the route to you. The good news is it's really easy. And the other good news is you have choices.
Also, yeah.
So, the start line is over there. If the person with the start sign would hold it up, please. This is the start sign. You will start walking, running, or rolling in that direction. That's north. There is a halfway point and an ending point where we have people who will be helping you out. If anyone needs a wheelchair because they can't make it, they have walkie-talkies and we can get that to you. So you go up to the end, people will tell you to turn around, come back, and if a half mile is what you want to do as your completion, hold up the half-mile finish sign.
Right back where you started.
Right where you started, you are finishing.
Easy.
However, if you want to really go and do a full mile, there's a sign that will tell you 1 mile, continue on, and you continue on this way. You go down to the end where there are people who will tell you this is the end of the route, turn around. You come back, and then you'll get your 1 mile finish.
Excellent.
Yes. Half mile on each leg. So if you go only the north leg, that's 1/2 mile. If you want to do a mile, you can do another half mile, and that'll make it a mile. If you're really energetic, do it another time, and you'll have 2 miles. We're going to start with runners and fast people. So if people who are runners could move up in that direction, please. And people who walk really fast could move up that direction. Actually, in the process of running or walking, please stay off the route so other people can go by. Okay. Okay, ready, set, go!
Let's start it.
I think one of the things with people with brain injury is that they've been through a life-changing event where I've heard several people now say that they died and now they have a new life. And this new life, a common theme that I'm seeing with this new life is that people want to give back and they want to help other people and they want to contribute to the knowledge around brain injury, to science. They want improvements to be made in rehabilitation. They want support for people. They want people to have better lives. Sure. And Walk, Run, and Roll for Thought is really widely supported in the brain injury community because people feel like they have something that they can really give back to and they can help other people. They want, I think people with brain injury want other people to have what they have and so want to get the word out.
I'd like to say thank you for everything that this has done for me.
I was just really happy to be here and support everything for TBI. It's a great honor to be here. And thank you for inviting the entire Seattle community. It's really fun. Getting ready to start. I haven't started yet, but hopefully I finish strong.
Sometimes people have pretty severe physical effects from being in an accident. Some of those stem from the brain injury itself, and some of them are just from being in a car accident and having broken limbs and things like that. Oftentimes, though, that people have weakness or paralysis on one side. People often have balance issues. People have a hard time moving along in the same way that they did before the injury, oftentimes. So sometimes you get to know somebody and they roll in, you get to know them and they're in a wheelchair, and then after you've been around them for a while, they're starting to take steps and they're starting to walk on a walker and they're starting to walk for 10 steps and then they're starting to walk for 20 steps and then they're walking around the room, and it's a pretty amazing thing to see.
Hi, lady. We came out.
Much easier when I was younger, but it was fun and I enjoyed this event. It's the first time I've been over here, first time I've ran since my injury 3.5 years ago. I'm happy to be here. Glad everybody else is here. Thanks.
People were like talking to each other a lot. People seem excited about being part of something new, this new sort of support for people with brain injury that's gaining traction.
Okay. Hi, my name is Taylor, and I'm a volunteer. I usually volunteer for the galas, for the brain injury auctions and things like that, and I really feel like this walk, run, and roll was really beneficial, and I'm glad that we could all run and support people who necessarily couldn't, and I like supporting everyone with a brain injury, especially my friends.
Okay, well, I would like to thank the Brain Injury Association and the other sponsors for this event today. Brain injury affects many individuals, and in our home, it affected us deeply 2 years ago when we lost our 4-year-old grandson, nephew, cousin to a brain injury, and we are grateful for the event today to share information about education, prevention, and living with brain injuries. And so we're very delighted to be here. Thank you.
There are great things happening in the community right now, and people are coming together. People with brain injury are coming together in a lot of different ways. There's support groups that people can join where they're doing not just talk groups, which are fantastic, but also things like yoga and going on outings to movies and to eat together. People are really doing some innovative stuff and thinking about new ideas that they can do in these support groups that bring the people together and also sort of supplement the idea of a support group as just a talk group. But there's really not enough. You know, people, if they go to all these different things, still don't always have enough support and friendship and places to socialize in their lives. And so events like this can really bring people together to have a good time together and do some of those things.
Well, we're involved with Headstrong. We're kind of like members, and because my son was injured in a car accident in December 15th, 2005. So he's improving. He's improved quite a bit. That's Corey right there. So anyway, believe it or not, he's improved quite a bit. He's getting a lot of therapy. He goes to the clinics at UPS, and then he swims 3 times a week at the Y, and then he has a speech therapist, and so it's a long haul. It's good to know other people. It's encouraging to see how other people improve too. Yeah. There's
a whole new life after brain injury, and people can find it when they're doing all the things that it takes, all the repetitive tasks that they need to do to be making progress. All of a sudden, people feel that progress and they can see it for themselves.
Hi, I'm Glenn Shulman. I'm a 53-year survivor of a rare inoperable brain tumor and brain condition. The brain tumor is a hypothalamic hamartoma, and the condition is polymicrogyria, or PMG for short, of the right side of my brain. I'm the oldest living survivor of this condition, and this will be my first brain injury walk, but I do all the brain tumor walks throughout the whole U.S. I'm doing about 13 this year to support brain tumor research and brain injury research.
Hello. We at the Rock Road for Thought. There's a lot of people here, and this is my second time being here. It's an annual event, and you can see all the people here. It's a grand event here.
Thank goodness it's not raining. You know, the Seattle weather has been terrible this summer, but I'm so happy that there's so many people out and they're doing a great job. Look at all the people that are coming. So we were a little late this morning, but I'm very happy that this production has been put on. So, thank you.
I'm Erin Rance, and I'm Program Director for Seattle BrainWorks. We're a community-based day program in the clubhouse model for people with brain injury. Seattle BrainWorks partnered with the Brain Injury Association of Washington and Headstrong in a joint effort to have a fundraiser together and to bring attention and awareness to the subject of brain injury. We had a great time together planning the event, and the idea for the Walk, Run, and Roll was the brainchild of Deborah Crawley, the Executive Director of the Brain Injury Association of Washington, and she kindly invited Seattle BrainWorks, our program, and Headstrong to join this, to make it a sort of a community effort to support people with brain injury and the people who love them. So the Walk, Run, and Roll is a fundraiser for the three organizations, and it's also a way for the three organizations to let people know that there's support out there for them in the community. And the support has to do with advocating for people with brain injury, encouraging research around brain injury that can help with efforts around rehabilitation and prevention. It's also a great way to bring together the community of people, the community of survivors, and their family members and their friends and their caregivers and professionals in the community. Bring all those people together so people can meet each other and get to know the great things that are happening in people's lives and the struggles that people are undergoing, and maybe different ways to deal with the struggles. And people make connections at an event like the Walk, Run, and Roll for Thought that they wouldn't be able to make at other places because they just often aren't in the same place at the same time because people are so very busy making it through their day. We're really happy at Seattle BrainWorks to have been invited by the Brain Injury Association of Washington to join into this effort with them because I feel like it's really great for people, for community groups to come together and support people from all different angles. So our Clubhouse program is supporting people with sort of direct service, showing people working with people in our Clubhouse program and a day program is really a concrete way to help people move forward. Brain Injury Association is doing great work with their advocacy around brain injury and with their case management program where they're helping people one-on-one with the day-to-day, all the things that they have to do to get their lives together. You know, there's so many new people in the United States having brain injuries every year. There's 1.7 million people in the U.S. having brain injuries every year. And it takes a whole community of support. There's new focus on brain injury because of people returning from combat. And we're still having increasing numbers of people with brain injury, of non-combat people, people having accidents. And then thinking about brain injury, it's just a very difficult thing for people. People have a life, and then all of a sudden their life is very dramatically changed in a way that most of us have a hard time understanding. And the road back can be a very long road with a lot of switchbacks. So sometimes when people have a brain injury, they have difficulty understanding how their behavior after brain injury might affect other people. When something in their environment changes, might have a hard time being flexible in order to sort of take that change in stride and keep going. It just might bring everything to a halt. And that can be hard on people around the person as well. People might not understand what's happening with the person that's making everything come to a halt. And this lack of insight can be really hard on survivors themselves, obviously, because when everything stops there, everything in the environment is still going on, and so it can be a great stressor for the family members. If somebody is having a hard time, that also makes a hard time for caregivers and family members. The families of people with TBI have a long journey themselves that they don't always realize in the very beginning, and that becomes apparent over time. And sometimes changes have to be made in the family too. You know, brain injury can affect the whole family in a lot of different ways, including that one family member might have to change employment. There might be financial struggles if a caregiver needs to be hired and paid for. There's other family members who might not get the attention that they got before, like children in the family might need to adapt to a parent who needs a lot more attention. They're not getting the same attention from that parent, and that can be really hard for them to deal with. Families have to pace themselves when it comes to brain injury and think about how to sustain themselves over a long period of time, take care of themselves, and so they can be there for the person with the brain injury, because that person has a long road too. So the Walk, Run, and Roll was a great success because we had about double the number of people that we had last year. Our first year was last year. And so that was fantastic. We had all those people together talking to each other and encouraging each other and supporting the survivors who were there. And a lot of our members said that they were really encouraged by knowing that all those people were there for them. We want to take this and expand it outward, because the education and support that's happening in this small community, there's so many people with brain injury out there who don't have any support at all, and they really need that support, and they don't know where to find it. So I think that us getting the word out there about what the Brain Injury Association of Washington provides, about Seattle BrainWorks and what we do, and about what Headstrong does, can help people know that there's things out there that they can go to. There may be support groups in their community that they can get hooked up with other people. There's things out there for people, but there needs to be more.